Welcome to Rogers That Podcast, episode 66. Your host for today is me, Lily, and today we have a great opportunity to interview Kyle Lyddy, who is the president of operations for Danbury's new soccer team, Spice City FC. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here with you guys.
We appreciate you joining us and to tell us a little bit about Danbury's new soccer team.
Part 1.
Awesome.
Part 1. Background and professional questions. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Newtown, right over the border. Borders you guys. Grew up in Newtown and, work in Danbury. Have a little bit of a understanding of the city. Love the city. I think it's a great city. It's small enough, but very cultural and has a good balance of, land and people. So, we'll get into the team a little bit as to why we chose Danbury, but excited to be part of the podcast. So thank you guys for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about Danbury's new professional soccer team?
Yeah, so we're really excited. We're in our first year. We chose a team name called Spice City FC. The FC stands for Football Club. I've got a partner. His name is Matt Swanda. Him and his wife own the team. I'm the president of operations, and Matt and his family are huge soccer nuts. They love the game, have been in the game. They've coached, they've played, and we're looking for, to build a team. They actually owned a team called Newtown Pride out of Newtown, and they had won a big tournament, and actually won some money from that tournament, and ultimately decided to open up a club in Major Arena Soccer League 2, which is a division across the country. We're actually in the Eastern Division, so there's three other teams in that division, and started the team just to kind of, keep the game alive. Danbury doesn't have a, professional soccer team. Obviously, there's a hockey team here, and we looked around multiple facilities, multiple arenas across, both Connecticut and New York, and being from Newtown, the both of us decided we want to try to keep it as close as we could. And obviously there's ice at the Danbury Ice Arena and not necessarily a field. So there's had to have been, a lot of creativity to bring a soccer team to an arena that just has ice. So we had to purchase the turf and, put the lines on the turf and understand how the actual operation was going to work, turning the ice ultimately into a soccer field. So a lot of back end work went into the organization of it and kind of building it. But we're excited that it has come to fruition. We're 3 games in at the Ice Arena. There's 3 more home games for the rest of the season here. But it was a vision that came to life. It's a little bit of a passion project, but we're excited to continue on and build this thing into something exciting and something Danbury and Greater Danbury can get around and be part of.
Do you know why they named it Spice City FC?
That's a great question. So we went through a lot of different variations of names. Obviously, we hear a lot about the Hat City, and obviously there's the Hat Tricks. And we wanted to steer clear a little bit of that just to, number one, not confuse people as to, what this new hat team may be. But also wanted to be a little bit creative and, put a little bit of a punch on, the multicultural spirit of Danbury. It's a very diverse city. The pepper that we have is a little fun. In minor league sports, there's a lot of creativity that goes into names and, promotions and stuff like that. For example, the Hartford Yard Goats in Connecticut, kind of a silly, fun name. It's a fun logo. So we wanted people to look at our little spicy pepper, who we've named Picoso, and smile. He's a happy, jubilant pepper, but also speaks to the different flavors of the city that we have, both food, culture, music. There's a lot of different things going on here. And we wanted to just, again, have people look at that pepper and say, that's interesting. Number one, what is it? I want to be part of it. But 2, be happy about seeing it. So we went through a lot of different conversations. It's kind of out there a little bit. It's not as mainstream as, most sports organizations, but are having fun with it and think it's been a good fit so far. To people reacting to it have been positive. So we're excited to continue to share out who Picoso is, our mascot, and what the Spice City, the meaning behind it. But we're excited.
How did Spice City FC get started? What inspired the team to form in Danbury City?
So the question was, when did we get started? So this is actually our first year. So we are 5 games in. Our record is currently, I believe it's 4-1. And we've only lost 1 game. We're actually 2-0, actually 3-0 at home now. So we've won all of our home games that we've played, which has been a great atmosphere at the Danbury Ice Arena. We want to try to continue to create it. Our first game was pretty much sold out. The second and third games had good crowds. The final 3 we think are going to be really exciting. People are starting to learn about who we are. There's a little bit of education as to, we have to explain to people who we are, what we're doing, because we are new. What was that?
Aren't the next games the playoffs?
Nope, not yet. So there's still 3 more home games outside of the playoffs. So we have March 16th, March 23rd, and then we have a makeup game because we had a snow game, which is going to be April 6th. So nope, not quite yet. It is a short season. It's not we only have 6 home games, 6 away games, and then the playoffs. But no, there are 3 more home games just in our regular season.
How has Danbury and Bracewell reacted to the team so far?
Yeah, so far so good. The Mayor Roberto Alves, has been extremely supportive. He was actually at our initial press conference back in February of 2024 when we announced the team. I think he was, a lot of people, anything new takes a lot to kind of get going, get people excited about. Like I said, we kind of have to educate people on what we're doing. Yes, it's a soccer team that's playing in an ice arena. That's, people kind of look at us like, what are you guys doing? But obviously, you guys came and saw it, and it works. It's a little cold in there, but it is. We are playing in an ice arena, but overall, it's been amazing. When we mention soccer and Danbury, there's a immediate perk of interest. So that's one thing we have to continue to do. We have to do a good job of making people aware of who we are, when we're playing, what the schedule is, but overall, the different soccer groups that we've invited to play at halftime or before the game, they've come with, excitement and energy. We have a supporters group that kind of happened organically that we're excited about 20 people that just love the game and want to be part of it and to create an atmosphere for it. But overall, the city has embraced us. It's just a matter of, continuing to make people aware of who we are and when we're playing. I think more importantly, though, is I think you guys saw maybe this past weekend or 2 weekends ago was how good the players are. Like, the talent on the field is pretty amazing. We have a U.S. national team futsal player. His name is Junior Allen Carr. We have an incredible Major Arena League 2. He's actually leading the league in scores. His name is Gustavo Gomes. So there are players that are legit. They're great players, very tactical. In this game, it's not your typical, 11 versus 11 outside soccer game where there's a huge field. The field is the ice arena, so it's pretty tight. It's only 6 players versus 6 players, so it's, it's a lot more tactical, a lot more goals. Definitely a higher energy game.
My team came over there to the last game to play at halftime.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's a little chilly in there, right? It's not you're not playing outside. It's like you're playing in winter on grass. But yeah, that's the type of groups we want to approach and have part of. Obviously, AC Connecticut, like you guys are an amazing organization. You have a lot of kids, a lot of families. That's who we want to attract and approach. And the game of soccer, pretty cool. I mean, those players were pretty good, weren't they? It was a high scoring game, but definitely a fun brand of soccer. Did you enjoy the way they, went back and forth? Definitely different than outdoors, right?
Yeah, it was really funny when I saw the goalie come out and score a goal.
Yeah. So it's definitely a different style of play. You only have 6 players, so you got to use your goalie in a way that makes sense. He's not just kind of hanging out in front of the goal the whole game. Obviously, you got to be careful with stuff like that because the goal is open. But yeah, it's kind of fun and definitely different. So thanks for coming.
How do you think you can continue to grow the fan base?
What was the question? I'm sorry, I missed that.
How do you think you can continue to grow the fan base? to grow the fan base?
Yeah, continue to grow it. Yeah, I think it's a good question. With your help, you guys coming this past weekend, AC Connecticut, obviously approaching different groups, making sure people who come to the game have a good time so that they come back. We're going to be reaching out to different groups. I mean, there's hundreds of kids that play in Danbury, the game of soccer, but, to have them come and play at halftime or be part of the national anthem, or different groups who want to sing the national anthem, we're kind of open to anything and everything to get people in the seats. The games are pretty affordable. You're looking at, $5 to $10 per ticket, which is pretty amazing for the level of play that we're playing. And again, what helps us is it's a short season. There's only 6 games. There's about 2,500 to 3,000 seats in there. So, we're kind of working our magic to get people in for the last 3 games, and hopefully it carries over to next year. But just an energy that excites people. No one wants to go sit at a game and be, just sitting on your hands and not enjoying yourself. We want there to be a high energy for people to go and then come back. And obviously the intrigue of playing, it's our first season. So we're excited about what we can do in the future, but great question.
What are some of the biggest challenges you faced while starting a new professional soccer team?
Yeah, so great question. So the idea came to life very organically. Like we loved the idea, we loved our logo, it all came together great. So the operation of it though is a little bit more difficult. So putting turf down overnight, the hockey team plays the night before, we put a turf down, overnight so that, in the morning and come game time, that turf is ready to go and play. So operationally, we're not a major arena. We're not Madison Square Garden where they kind of flip it overnight and do it very easily. We have guys that are working hard to kind of make sure the operation is set up and the field looks presentable and obviously playable. So that's been one, not challenge, but one element of what we have to do. The arena is, extremely supportive of what we're doing. They've been a great partner for us. I don't think we could have done this anywhere else. We picked the right arena. We picked the right support staff and the right individuals to help us bring this to life. I think in any other arena that we chose, it would have been much more difficult just because of the personnel. The way these guys think at the arena they're supportive, they're positive. If something doesn't work, the first thing they're saying is, how can we make it work? So that's the type of partner you want to have. And I think, our press conference was well attended. It was exciting. The city was great. And then it's kind of, educating people and making people aware of what we're doing. So some of that back end stuff has been the most difficult part, the operations, the getting people in the seats. But, the play on the field, that comes organically to these guys. So it's that's been the easy part. The play, the talent, all of that stuff is very easy. It's more so the back end operation stuff that, we're bringing to life.
Can you explain what's your role as the president of operations involves on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so it's just a constant battle of, we're a small team. We're not, 100 people. We don't have, someone, we don't have 10 different individuals that are working with us. We have, on the back end, the operations are more so organizing different groups to join us. We're talking with the city. We're talking with the ice arena on all of the logistics. Obviously, the coordination of the turf and getting that input, the coordination of the players, making sure guys are there on time, the training staff. And then what we're doing is we're also flipping the arena, so some of the signage is changing. Some of our sponsors that we have, United Savings Bank, who is our first ever founding sponsor, has kind of come on board and assisted us with, they've believed in us from the start, and we're excited to kind of continue working with them. But flipping the signage from any of the sponsors that the Hat Tricks or the arena have to who we've gotten is another, not challenge, but an exciting turnaround that we bring to life. But there's a lot that goes into it on the back end. I don't even think I could put it all in a quick synopsis, but it's kind of, we're working on the fly. If there's stuff that comes up, we're attacking it just to try to bring it to life. But there's a lot of different we're being pulled in a lot of different directions just to kind of put it together and make it work. But it's fun. We're having a lot of fun doing it.
What's your favorite part of being involved with Spice City, and what do you enjoy most about your job?
Yeah, I think it's the players and seeing what they can do on the field. When everything's kind of said and done, the turf is up, the signage has changed, the people are in the seats, the national anthem's over. I think the most exciting element of my job is watching these guys play, because they are incredibly talented. Like you said, the goalie coming out, the tactical and strategic way we're trying to score goals. The goals aren't ending, the games aren't ending 1-0 or 2-1. I mean, we've won the last few with 10 goals, 11 goals. So, it's a high scoring game, which, there's an excitement there to share. These guys aren't just in your normal adult league. These guys are, professionals. So watching them play, I think, is the most exciting part of my job.
How do you choose players for the team? What do you look for in a player?
Yeah, so my partner, Matt, is kind of the soccer guru. He's looking, and we've shared, who we want on a team like this. This is the first ever team. We want people to believe in the city of Danbury, number one, people who want to be here, that want to play and be active in the community, not just somebody that's just going to show up and go home at the end of the day and be part of it. We want them to be team players, collaborative. Some of these players are new to this style of game, 6-versus-6, so it's a little bit of education. So somebody that's willing to understand it, not necessarily showboat, but be active. There's a lot of substitutions, so not getting upset and kind of pouting on the bench. I mean, it goes back to some of the basics, but it's something that we believe in, and not only carries through from the players, but also our staff on the back end and the operations staff is, we want to be collaborative and positive and trying to navigate this in the best way possible. It does make a difference when we have people that want to be there. It just adds a better vibe to the whole situation.
How is indoor soccer different from the outdoor soccer?
Yeah, good question. I think it's very different. I haven't really been part of indoor soccer until this year, and anyone who comes to a game, I think, would be excited to watch the level of play that comes to life. Obviously, there's no walls in outdoor soccer. A lot of the players are tactically using the walls to kind of pass the ball or get around a defender. You can't check somebody into a board or a wall like hockey, but you can kind of get stuck in a corner or something like that, where you got to try to figure out how to get the ball out. Obviously, there's corner kicks and penalties. The one thing there's a penalty box, kind of like hockey, where if somebody commits a serious blue card, they call it. They sit in the penalty box, which is kind of interesting, kind of funny. It's not your typical soccer. And then the field is much smaller, so you're not running 100 yards or more, 120 yards to kind of get up the field. It's much more tactical and tight. So you got to be strategic about who you're passing to, where the passes go. I think it's a much more fun brand of soccer because it is much more fast-paced. You have to do something with the ball. The walls are close, so it's pretty tight. You have to be strategic for sure.
It reminds me of like futsal.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, obviously there's turf there. You're not playing on like a gym floor, but 100%. It's very similar in terms of the tight quarters. Your passes are much shorter. You're not passing it much further. There's not necessarily you're not kicking the ball and having them trying to run past the defender, because the defenders are much more tight in the defensive end. So yeah, definitely a different style of play.
How has the team been doing in its first year?
They've been great. We've lost one game on the road. We're in second place currently in the Eastern Division. There's one team ahead of us who we play twice at the end of the year. It's actually our last game on April 6th. They're called United Elite. They're out of Utica, New York. They're a very good team. They've been around for a long time. So if we continue to win here on the road, we'll have a good chance at making the playoffs. But you have to beat the best teams, and that's one team that we're going to have to match up against well and come in strategically and figure out a way to win. But yeah, we've been, for our first year, we've built a roster that, is an exciting team. They're talented. They have a chance to go really far. It's just a matter of, like any team, how well they can come together and make things work. But yeah, great question. They've been fantastic so far, but a little bit of probably half the season to go. So we have some time to tell as to how things will play out.
Do you know the score of the game they lost?
I don't off the top of my head. It was close, maybe 6-4 or somewhere in there. But I'll take a look. It wasn't like a blowout. It was pretty close.
If it's close, that means they could probably beat them.
Yeah, I agree. Now we're talking.
Can you explain what the atmosphere is like during a Spice City game?
Yeah, so we're trying to create the atmosphere a little bit. In our first game, we had a lot of people in there. We had, some guys, like I said, we have an organic group of people that came to life and brought their energy. We're building chants. A lot of these teams that have been around for a long time have chants already started and created just based on the history of the team. We are kind of building all of that from scratch. The supporters group now has drums, which has been fun. They've been a good addition to
I
to
saw
the
last game.
Did you see that? Yeah, cool. So they've been great. Obviously there's a multicultural feel to it. We have a demographic in Danbury that is Ecuadorian, Portuguese, obviously American. There's a lot of different individuals in Danbury who love soccer that we want to also cater to. So some of our announcers are bilingual. We want to make sure that everyone feels welcome there. We have a tagline of "You belong here," which we share out in different languages across the signage and some of our social media posts that just want to make people feel like they, we're just there to, entertain. We want people to come and have a good time, no matter who you are or where you're from. We want you to be present. So one thing we're, really excited about and, hope to continue to advance. We have some promotional stuff that's going to be going on in different quarters, some giveaways. After each goal moving forward, we're going to have the player who scored the goal sign a T-shirt and throw it into the stands, just to kind of, make that club interaction more prevalent. But overall, we're just trying to create a good environment, again, like I said, for people to enjoy themselves and come back. So, we're excited.
How does your staff change the venue from an ice rink to a soccer field? How long does it typically take to do so?
Yeah, it's a great question. So that's been, like I said earlier, a little bit of our challenge is navigating that. Our guys in the operations team have gotten much better. From the first, we did a few trial runs prior to our first game, just obviously to make sure we know what we're doing and how we're making it work. It takes about 15 to 20 guys and girls. They all, there's different people there each time, but 15 to 20 people that help us roll out the turf. So it does go right on top of the ice. So there's no floor in between the ice. Yeah, there's no floor in between the ice and the grass. But the turf there sticks very, it's very tight to the ice. Once we get it down, it's definitely down. It's not going to be sliding on the ice. It kind of sticks to it. And then, there's probably about 15 rolls that go across the ice. So it's a lot of labor. We have a big machine that kind of goes out on the ice, wheels out on the ice, that lifts each roll up and drops it in its place. It's like a puzzle, to be honest. We have different pieces that we need to put in their places, and at the end it all comes to life, and it's good. There is some Velcro that Velcros each of the rolls together. There are some bumps on it. We've tried each time, like I said, we've gotten better, but it's nothing different than being outside on grass. It's not a perfectly flat ground. It could be a little bumpy, based on what the turf and grass looks like. But overall, it takes approximately, like the first time we did it, I think it took 8 hours to do. It was really difficult. We obviously, we had some people in there that had done stuff like this before, but our first time we took our time. Overall, now it takes us about 3 to 4 hours, and I expect that time to get better each time we do it. So if a hockey game ends at 10 o'clock at night, our guys are starting at, as soon as they clear the ice at 10:30, it takes us from, 10:30 till maybe 2:30 to complete overnight.
Wow.
Yep.
For someone who's never been to a professional soccer game before, why should they come to a Spice City FC match?
Yeah, awesome question. Because we are, whoever hasn't been there, even if they don't like soccer, it's not. I think it's going to be something they're surprised at as to how good the level of the players are. I think obviously walking in that arena and seeing turf on ice is pretty cool in itself, just the visual of it. But if you have never been, we'd welcome you with open arms just to come take a look, watch, see if you enjoy it. Obviously, the goal scoring is fun. The music after the goals are fun. We try to include, obviously, music throughout the game, so it's not just a, stagnant, one sound or just fans cheering. There is some fun music that we play. We have some in-game announcers as well. Like I said, moving forward, we're going to have some cool promotional stuff that we're giving away from some of our sponsors. But it's a fun environment. The Danbury Ice Arena in itself is a great place. There's an arcade in there. It's a really cool venue. So if you've never even been in the building, we'd welcome you to come check it out. Some good concession stands. So yeah, it's a cool environment regardless of the game. But I think when you come to watch the game, you'll be pleasantly surprised by the talent on the field.
What's the goal for Spice City in the next few years? Do you have any exciting plans or dreams for the team?
Yeah, so another good question. So we have a kind of a 3-year vision here. So this is our first year just to kind of see how it goes. We've spent, a lot of our time and money and, energy on making sure, number one, this can work. We're kind of proving that it can. We wanted to make sure, we got the turf. We had to buy the franchise. We're obviously, we put a lot of energy and money into the first year just to kind of put this together. So years 2 and years 3 will be a little bit, easier for all of us. Obviously, we'll know what we're doing from putting the turf down. We know how the team could play. We're understanding the league a little bit more and the rules of the league. So yeah, just kind of getting the word out, selling merchandise. We want to walk down the streets and see you guys in your school with, some Spice City T-shirts and hats and some scarves. That's kind of the energy that we hope to create. And yeah, like the Hat Tricks have done, they've been around for a long time, but people know who they are. When someone says Spice City, we want them to recognize that it's an amazing, fun soccer team right here in Danbury. The arena's, very easy to get into and out of. So yeah, it's definitely it's not a one and done situation here. We're excited to kind of use this to build for the future and get people in the seats. It's not like we have 30 games, it's a 6 home game season, which makes it a little bit easier for us as well to kind of create 6 events and not, 30 events, which is great. But overall, yeah, it's going to be, we're excited to bring it to life more than just 1 year. So hopefully we're around for much longer than that, but definitely have a focus on years 2 and 3.
Okay, this is part 2. It's middle school question. What was middle school like for you, and what were your favorite middle school memories?
Good question. Cool. You're throwing me back. So I'm 38 years old now. So middle school is quite a while ago. I went to Newtown Middle School. I grew up in Newtown, and I still live there. Middle school was great. Obviously, it's a very challenging time with meeting people and trying to fit in. But overall, I played some sports myself. I played some basketball. I got involved in different clubs in middle school, which was fun to meet some different types of people. But it was a positive experience for me. It was again, trying to fit in, but trying to navigate, who my friends groups were. I came from a different elementary school with, in Newtown, there's 4 or 5 different elementary schools. I know in Danbury, there's other, multiple, elementary schools as well. So coming together to meet new people was fun for me. Some people I had never met, even in my own hometown. So that was fun. But yeah, just kind of diversified, who I was and what I was doing. There's obviously a lot more different opportunities for me beyond just, playing a sport or being home. Allowed me to understand what else was out there from a club standpoint and what else I could participate in or what interests I had in school. But great question. It was a long time ago, but definitely a positive experience for me just based on the friendships that I created and have kind of carried for life.
What was your favorite class in middle school?
Oh, what was that question? I'm sorry.
What was your favorite class in middle school?
Favorite class? I think so. I have, and obviously you have multiple teachers in middle school. So I had a favorite teacher who I actually still stay in touch with. Her name was Mrs. Lynch. She was a social studies teacher. I still stay in touch with her. You know, forget what I learned in the class. She was just a really good person. Taught me a lot of life lessons that, you know, I can always connect. I was always able to connect with her on. We had some similar, you know, similarities. We had some similarities that we got along with great. We both loved UConn basketball. And there was just a good connection with us. And she's obviously a great person today. She's still teaching, but at a different location. So that was fun. What other classes? Obviously there was multiple in there. I remember all of my teachers very, very vividly. I don't know if I had a favorite class, but I remember, you know, the people that were teaching me very clearly. All great people, obviously a very difficult job, especially in middle school with, you know, all of the changes that even the students are going through. Different people they're meeting, different friends groups, different cliques. So overall, my experience was positive, but a lot of those educators helped me kind of power through those days.
When you were in middle school, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh man, probably a professional basketball player or something. I don't know if I had a clear vision as to, you know, who I was or wanted to be. You know, it was definitely a time that I evolved as a person, got to know who I was a little bit. I'm not really sure. I know I didn't want to be like a doctor or anything like that. It was definitely something that grew, and you know, obviously life is crazy and throws you different punches, but yeah, I don't know if I had a clear vision on that quite yet.
What advice will you give to middle school students today?
I think just be true to yourself. Obviously, you know, your age, you're just trying to understand who you are and what you want to do and what your friends look like, and you know, what those friends groups look like. I think, you know, finding people that have similar you know, relationships and similar you know, experiences is someone you're going to attract to yourselves. But I think it's more so just surrounding yourself with good people. You know, some of my friends today are still my friends from middle school. So that's, you know, over 20 something years ago that, you know, we've had a relationship for, just because, you know, we met in middle school. And I think that's really important, is to try to diversify who you're with. Just be kind. Obviously, a lot of people are, you know, they may be new to the friends groups or new to the school, or maybe going through, you know, a difficult time, but it's important. And I always my parents instilled this on me, is, you know, be kind to each other. I think it's the easiest thing to do every day. You know, you don't have to be, you know, best friends, but you can always be kind.
Okay, this is part 3, and it's going to be fun soccer questions.
Cool.
So this is a question that everybody fights about. Do you like Messi better or Ronaldo?
Good question. I think Messi. Messi's my guy. You know, he came to the United States, MLS. I think he's been a good ambassador for the game. Obviously, Ronaldo has made it such a huge impact on the game of soccer. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Messi.
I like Ronaldo too.
Cool. No problem.
Turf or grass?
I'm a grass guy. I think the smell of the grass, you know, playing on fresh grass, fresh cut grass. I don't think there's anything better than a beautiful grass field. And unfortunately, grass fields are pretty much going away. I mean, there's not many left. Even on the high school level, grass fields are kind of being eliminated. Just, you know, there's obviously weather conditions. You could play on turf. They're a lot more reliable. There's a lot of work that you have to do on grass fields. Obviously, at the ice arena, we can only play on turf. So that's been fun. But I think overall, a grass field is more organic, you know, than turf. But it's becoming more difficult to find them.
Yeah, the best grass I've ever been to is probably at Fairfield University.
Yeah.
Their grass was so nice.
Yeah, it's beautifully maintained. Yeah, perfectly cut. You know, the ends are perfectly trimmed. Yeah, I've been there as well. It's a great facility. But yeah, some of the colleges still have them. Most do, grass fields, but majority of the high schools, I think, because of maintenance and trying to keep up, you can clear snow quicker off of it. You can, you know, the rain will absorb it better. So I understand why, but there's nothing better than a grass field.
What jersey is your favorite, their home one or the away?
Good question. So these are new jerseys for us. So the home jerseys have so we've gone through a lot of different jersey variations as well. And that's something, maybe next year or the year after, maybe you'll see something different. But obviously the front of our jersey has our founding sponsor, Union Savings Bank, has kind of a diagonal yellow stripe on it. The home jerseys are a little bit more classic. So just kind of yellow and green, which are our colors, thin stripes across the front and back. I think the home jerseys are a little bit more classic looking. I like them better. But that's something that we want to evolve into, figure out, what the look and feel of it is, and kind of, understand who we are a little bit. But our current jerseys, I definitely like our home ones better.
Who is your best player?
Ooh, there's a few. I think the two that I mentioned earlier. So Junior Alencar, who's he's an amazing leader on the team. A lot of the guys respect who he is. He's very tactical with his feet. He's a great passer. He sees the field very clearly. I think he's an incredible player, one of the best in the league, I think. And then I think, our hottest player, our best goal scorer, sees the field incredibly, has incredible footwork. He's really good with his feet, is Gustavo Gomes. He's really fun to watch. He's a good player out, when he's kind of one-on-one with somebody, his moves are incredible, really fun, really tactical. So, when his foot touches the ball, it's kind of showtime for us. So those are two players on our team that I think are really fun to watch, but also kind of are the glue of our winning season so far.
If someone wants to be part of a professional soccer team like Spice City someday, what advice will you give them?
Yeah, I think it's just putting yourself in a position. Obviously at a younger age, a lot of people play soccer just to kind of try it out. It's those that kind of continue on and put the work in, through Premier Soccer and high school and then even college. It's a very small percentage of people that move on to play. So one, you have to have a passion for it. You can't just do it just to do it. And two, it's just kind of putting yourself in the right position. Some of it's luck, some of it's kind of your network and who's seeing you and who you're around. But ultimately it's just like anything, the work that you put in, and the energy that you put in and the passion that you have behind it will kind of dictate the results that you have. So if you love something, whether it's soccer or math, it doesn't matter. If you put the time in and you put an energy into it, then you're going to get something out of it that's positive. So I think anyone that wants to be part of something like what we have going on, it's the dedication and the grind that you need to create.
Well, that concludes our discussion with Kyle Lyddy. Thank you for spending time with us today to tell us a little bit about your job in Spice City FC.
You guys are amazing. Have an awesome day. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for tuning in for another great episode of Rogers At. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
See ya.